Let's chat about it. Things that we know. There's always a way to go. No need to be on the know. Let's chat about it. There are times when you speak. Sometimes we don't let's chat about it. Keep it on the know. Let's chat about it. There are times when you speak. Sometimes we don't let's chat about it. And we know there's always a way to go. No need to keep it on the low. Let's chat about it.
Wellkeptsisters, Tanisha, Michelle,
Tasha.
Shannon.
episode 2. We actually, you know what? I'm gonna let Shannon start this conversation.
Okay. Hi everyone. And we want to first of all say thank you for all of you who have subscribed to our page, like us on Facebook, and have posted comments. We appreciate all the support that we're getting from you all. Please continue to be supportive and give us any ideas or any topics that you all want us to talk about. We're open to any conversations. I mean, we love to talk with women, so that's what we do. But enough of that. Okay, last episode we talked about forgiveness, and each of us gave you all some of our personal lives and things that we've dealt with forgiveness. But today we're gonna focus on after forgiveness. You know, we all have that trust issue after you forgive. So I'm gonna start and ask the question: where do you start to trust? I mean, how do you start to trust someone after you've forgiven them? I mean, they've said they're sorry, you all prayed about it, you come to the agreement, okay, well, we're gonna forgive and we're gonna move forward. What is the next step that you do? I'll start with Michelle.
I think with me, it depends on the person and the type of relationship we have. In some cases, I can forgive. Does trust necessarily have to go with that forgiveness? No, because depending on who they are, I can just forgive them and it'll be a, hey, how you doing type of relationship. If it's somebody closer to me, it still depends. Sometimes it's automatic. If it's Shannon or somebody I'm really, really close to and we have a disagreement, it's almost automatic. But there are other times where it takes a while to regain my trust. I've known people, it's been years. Some people, some months. I just don't know how to answer that as far as when am I going to start trusting you again, or the steps you have to go through.
Do you pray about it, or do you even remotely think about it at all? Once you
Again,
know,
depending on how important the relationship is, I pray about it. If it's somebody I want to continue to have in my life, in my inner circle, I definitely pray about it. But if it's just a regular person that I don't really have a close relationship with, it's okay for me to forgive them and not have to entertain anything.
do you talk to them? I mean, because I know they're trying to
Casual conversation, yes. Now, I can speak of a past issue where at one time when this particular person was close, and because of our circumstances, our children had to have relationships with each other. So in that particular place, I learned how to have conversation with them, not necessarily anything intimate. My mindset was, I'm telling this person something that I don't mind anybody in the world knowing. That was my concept whenever we talk about it. Nothing intimate details about nothing personal in my life, but my mindset was always, okay, when I get off, if I have to talk to them on the phone, it's gonna be about the girls or something that I don't care if anybody else knows.
Well, if I may interject, I like everything you just said, because I have to admit, I have yet to be to the point where if someone hurts me, I can completely go back into that trust mode once like the dust is cleared, so to speak. God's still working with me on it, and after today's service, oh my God, He's still dealing with me with that aspect, with a few things that have happened, even recently, and things that have happened in the past. I don't even know if I'm going to talk about that particular situation, but I see this person, you know, after what happened. When I do see this person, it's tough, but then I think, okay, you know, I can't allow this to hinder me from where God wants me to go. So I'm at the point of where at least be cordial. Hey, how you doing? You know, the small talk, and then I make an exit quick, because I know that feeling is still, you know what I'm saying, I haven't really got a hold on it exactly that good yet, so, I don't want to relive that hurt, so I make it quick and move on.
Now, I want to say one thing, and after the last episode, we kind of chit-chatted a little bit. Maybe we should have got that on footage. We chit-chatted about this conversation. And my question, I guess, and I guess this goes out to those who are married versus those who are just say in a relationship, per se. Okay, when you're married and your spouse does something to you or whatever, and you forgive them, you really don't have a choice somewhat to trust them, because it's kind of like, okay, if I'm going to stay in the marriage and I'm going to forgive you, I'm actually saying that I'm going to trust you to do the right thing from whatever the situation was before. Versus if you have a significant other and they do something to hurt you and you forgive them, you can, like you said, kind of like, okay, well, do I want to stay in this or do I want to walk away? You have that choice too in a marriage per se, but you always want your marriage to work. You always want to do whatever you need to do to try to make your marriage work. So I guess for those out there listening, you're going to always have that difference of opinion when it comes to forgiveness and trust in a marriage versus in a relationship, because we all know if it's a relationship, just a significant other relationship, they can do something, hurt you. You can forgive them and be like, deuces, I'm gone. But that's kind of hard to do when you have a husband or a wife, because you love them, you want it to work. So I guess my question to that is, okay, so Tanisha, you're single, and if there was a situation,
So
with
glad
the
you
person,
asked that. So glad
how do you handle that?
Let me say this, and mine is such a whole nother level. Though people have hurt me, and I, lost their trust, or bottom line is, I don't think about that. What I think about is, because I have hurt people or lost their trust. So I don't think about it. My mind doesn't go to, can I trust them? I'm too busy trying to figure out how I can gain trust if I hurt someone. Because I'm on the other fence. Majority of the time, I'm always the person that may have been the one that lost that trust. Okay. So with my steps of trying to gain that trust with that person, because I would share the steps. One, I didn't harass them. I didn't run behind them. I didn't, try to beg them for my forgiveness. No, I prayed, not in the beginning, but I did pray about it because I was too busy crying because I lost their trust, because I knew I did wrong.
Right.
So, and then I also, after that, I would still continue to do what I did for them, those individuals, whoever it was. If I would babysit for them, and I didn't stop doing that. But at the same time, I would do unique stuff to try to gain their trust. One thing you can't do is stop doing whatever it is that you're doing in the midst of them hurting you, or at least that's what I feel. So mine is different. I'm a type of person, I had to follow some steps because I had to gain trust. I had some people that come to me that had to, gain their trust back with me, but I never thought about that. I'm too busy thinking about me.
And I think we all have had those situations where, no one's perfect. And so you have done things to people and you want them to trust you. And, trust is earned. You do have to earn that back. And you're right. You don't want to change what you're doing. You want to still go on with your life and do things that you normally do. But, and there are certain people, and I'll say this, there are certain people that each of us hold near and dear to our hearts that it hurts us more to know that they haven't forgiven us and trust us versus, just a friend, like your mom and your dad. The worst thing that, with my children, if I tell them something like, I don't trust you, it hurts them really. I mean, you can take away the phone and all that kind of stuff, but when you tell your child, I don't trust you, no, you can't go here, it does something to them. It makes them really try hard to get back into your good graces, and same thing with relationships, and not just with a man per se, in a relationship wise. It could be someone on your job that may have done you wrong on your job and you just don't trust. You say, okay, well, I'm going to be out. I need you to cover for me. And they say, okay. And then you get back. They haven't done anything that they say they're going to do. So in that situation with me, it's more so like, I still have to deal with you on a daily basis, but do I trust you to do this for me? No, because last time that didn't work out.
Do you continue to be that way though? Do you have to continue to be that way, or do you pray?
Do I have to, or do?
No. In other words, do you pray that that person eventually start doing the steps, whatever it is that they're supposed to cover for you to do?
Well, honestly, prayer doesn't even come into a play in situations such as that.
But shouldn't it?
Yeah.
Shouldn't it come to a place with
Yes,
this
it may should, but it don't.
I know.
And that's what I'm kind of like, especially when you're talking about a working relationship.
But it has to be in the Bible. We can't put act this way, for example, if I said at church, and act this way at work. So if you're gonna, they don't have to know you're praying about it, but don't you think it's good to pray that, Lord, I hope one day they understand where I'm coming from, that they didn't have my back.
Well, if I pray that, it'll be, Lord, I hope the next person that they have to do this for, that they'll get it right. But I probably
I'm not gonna put yourself in that predicament.
I wouldn't dare expect you to do it again. If
Not
the first
expect, but then you just pray about it. Just in case, and then magically next week, surprisingly, because of that prayer, she did something that you didn't even expect.
Well, I put it like this. It's not a prayer more so of maybe in the way that you're speaking. What I pray is more like this. Lord, I thank you for showing me that this person cannot be trustworthy in this job. So I will not be that stupid to allow them to do it again. And then I'm done with that. And I'm done with
But
that.
when you say that, but since we're all trying to come as one, do you think we need to reverse that?
I mean, prayer is probably the best answer, but do we always do it?
And I guess I should say the way you're praying.
And that's how it's more of a thank you, Lord. I appreciate you, God, Father,
For showing me that you're gonna be.
I'm trying to make sure that
Should you try?
Yeah, in the way that I changed. Yeah. Again, I thank you. The first prayer was, well, Lord, I think it's going to be the better person right here. That I think they're going to do right by me and do this. And then when they don't do it, I'm like, okay, Lord, thank you for showing me that was my doing and not yours.
Yeah.
And now my prayer next time is, Lord, I pray that you help me get all my work together before I leave on vacation.
And I guess I
So I don't have to be dependent on the next.
And I think of it different. I think of it as maybe they're wet behind the ear. Maybe they trying to learn. And who's to say that you always
That would be my fault. If I know that they're still learning, I wouldn't ask.
Okay.
You just don't ask. That's another thing. You just learn.
Like I said, it's different in working relationships and as opposed to personal relationships. I will say in personal relationships, when you really pray and turn it over to the Lord, that trust comes back. Because I can't even tell you with the person I was speaking of earlier, because we had to have relationships with children, we had to be in the same church, and we've known each other for years and years. When I really did pray, at some point over the years, the trust was there. I don't know how, I don't know exactly when, but I finally said, Lord, I've got to release all of this in me. Yes, I've forgiven them, but it's got to be something better than that, because I can't just pass them in church and go here and hug somebody and just walk past them like they don't even matter to me anymore because they're closer to me, as opposed to this lady over here I'm asking to cover my shield. It ain't that serious. Next time I just want to ask her, you be like, Lord, show me who it is.
I'm saying this, it is, to me, you said it that serious, but technically,
where I believe sis is coming from is that we as women of God, and I know we are at different levels of our faith, but we need to detail our prayers more toward, instead of, oh Lord, guard us from the wrong people to whatever. Instead of that, we need to, well Lord, maybe whatever was going on that kept them from keeping their word to me, Lord, be there for them, or whatever the case may be, because you just never know. Strengthen them in that area. So, Lord, if you put them back on my heart to try them again in that area as far as work relationship goes, Lord, help them to realize, okay, if they were in my shoes and they were asking somebody to cover for them, how would they want that person to cover for them? So that's where I feel like
that's what I mean. Why should we separate the two? We should separate the work and church. Pray for this church people this type of way, and then you're gonna pray for this way.
Well, I don't think it changes who I am. One thing, I try to be real at all times. I'm not gonna be fake. And for general people that I don't really know, when you say a prayer, of course you want to bless all of them. God look over them and things of that nature. But like Michelle was saying, it's different when you have a work relationship in person. I'm like this. I've always been like this. If I don't know you, you can't hurt me per se, and it bothers me. If you're just a stranger on the street and you do something to me, I just, Lord, they don't know no better than going on. But like Michelle was saying, if someone's near and dear to you, it's a different type of thing. So it's not like you don't pray for the person that you were with. It's just, kind of like, okay, well, they did that to me. I don't treat them any different. different. I wouldn't treat them any different if they didn't do it. I treat them just as fine if they didn't do the work that they say they
And
were
what I
going
mean
to
by
do.
that, I mean prayer different. You pray different.
I wouldn't pray different for them. Like I said earlier, I'll just thank God for showing me
That's what I
that.
mean. You pray for her differently than you did that worker. That's what I mean. Because this was close and dear to you. So that prayer to her is way different than the prayer to that work person.
It may be.
That's what I mean.
It very well may be, and I can't per se if that's right or wrong, but it depends on if I'm trying to gain that trust back from that particular person that I'm praying for. It's kind of like if I'm trying to get this person to once again in my work area to, get that trust back from them. If they know that they did wrong, if they've done something like the Bible says, and I'm not a Bible scholar, but it doesn't say something about if you have an ought against your brother, you go to him.
Right, it is.
So if they know that they've done wrong, actually I shouldn't have to say anything. It's not they would come to me and say, I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to do
That's a
that.
whole nother topic right there, y'all. Because I almost something else because I don't agree with that. I love y'all. So we just have different opinions, so many different opinions, but go ahead.
But with that, and that's hard to do too. That could be something else to talk about.
Yeah.
It's hard when you know you've done wrong and you walk right past it, knowing darn well you just let it happen. It doesn't upset you, but you just go. And that's hard to do. You've done wrong because we sit there and know we've done wrong, and we don't say anything. We expect them to come to us and say, I want to talk to you about something. Well, really, it should be the other way around. Let me talk to you about something that I did to you. I didn't do the work. I promised you that I would.
Do you think you could at least go to? Do you think you can go to that person? What if she don't have the courage to come to you? Would you? Well,
to be honest with you, I've learned to forgive people in my own silent prayer, my time with God, versus having to go to them. Lord,
You sure throwing out some more topics.
Lord, just forgive them, and I'm just gonna go ahead on with it. And when I see them at work, hey, how you doing? Would you like a cup of coffee or whatever the situation? I'm done with that. Now that I can be done.
And that's a sincere.
Yeah, that's sincere. That's just as real as you can get.
Yeah, because in my mind,
Go ahead.
I guess when I'm at work, it's a working relationship. There may be 2 people at my job that I consider friends. Everybody else, those are my coworkers.
And I agree with you all. I promise you I do. This is my point. You don't think we should be drawing them into something you keep separating the two. Prayer life, work people. Building trust now.
But we're just
we supposed to separate?
No, you're not. You're not supposed to separate.
So are we gonna separate? Are we gonna? You know what I'm saying?
Work on not separating.
Now let's make it clear. I'm nowhere. Even though I'm throwing out these questions, I am nowhere near. I'm just throwing out questions because God has lead me to. Not that I've arrived. What now?
To me, it's just different relationships. Now,
But should it change? That's what I mean. Should
my prayer change?
What treating them? Yeah. Because remember every.
And don't get us wrong, we're not treating them bad. I'm gonna
not bad.
if you need me to do something that pertains to our work, I'm gonna do that. But
You're just not gonna trust them in certain areas.
But what if the prayer should switch to just in case you need to be praying for them for God to be leading you to pray?
I will.
And it'll be a sincere prayer.
Yeah, it may not be about that particular situation,
Right.
but yeah, I pray for
But
them.
how would you know that when you already say I'm done with it? So how you know God done told you? If you saying I'm done with it, that means you totally erased.
When I say I'm done with it, I'm saying what I mean is when I say I'm done with it, whatever that was that we had about that you were gonna cover for me.
Explain to that I'm done.
When I realized that you haven't done whatever it was, I'm done with that. I'm done with not that person because I love all people. And I'm going to continue to pray for them. If they were to come to me and ask for my prayer, it's going to be a very sincere prayer. But as far as the work goes, because I don't know about y'all like that, but I need my job. My work still has to be done. And so what that tells me is I maybe need to be a little more responsible and take care of my business before I go because of a situation before. And yes, it will be hard for me to trust someone else that says, I'll cover for you, Shannon, go ahead. What I'm going to say is, if it at all possible, no, that's okay. I'm going to try my best to finish this up myself. Unless it is someone that I know that I've asked to do things before and they've done it, they haven't disappointed me, and then I will use those particular people at that particular time. But when I say I'm done with that, just means I'm not going to do that anymore. But as far as them being a friend, a co-worker, or whatever, that's not going to change. I mean, if they need me for anything,
Right.
I'm going to still show myself trustworthy.
One particular coworker text something that I took as very racist. I had told myself I wasn't gonna ask the person about the text or anything, but they approached me about it, and my first thought was, this ain't the right day you want to be talking about no racial issues. But and what I realized in the conversation was they just really believed that they really didn't mean anything racist about it. That was their mindset. This is not the day that you want to be asking me about field time. Not in 2015 when Selma has just come out.
Right. But if I may, I just want to say, I know how somehow we got off of trust in the relationship, and then we got on the trust in work environment. But let me just say that I know for a fact that when I got my job, I had no experience whatsoever in the field that I'm in now. So therefore, I see it as God has me on an assignment. And I've only got to that point because of where God has brought me from through my life experiences. Beforehand, I used to be like, oh man, I don't know how I got this, this, that, and the other. But I'm to the point now where I recognize God's hand in my life through even the little things. And so with that being said, I don't know, I had a situation, I won't go into detail, but with a co-worker, and things didn't kind of pan out the way I wanted it, and it was kind of whatever. But instead of me getting an attitude like whatever, I'm in soldier mode. It's like, okay, I know I'm here on assignment, so I'm not gonna give any avenue for the enemy to come in and deter me from what I'm here for. For however long God has me here for, that's what I'm gonna do. So as far as the trust aspect in the work environment, only one I'm really trusting is God, because He's the one that's ensuring me every day that I wake up every morning and go to my job. That okay, I got you. All you got to do is go in, be yourself, let them see me and you, and I'll take care of the rest. As far as on the personal level, He's still working with me, because I know on a personal level, like we all mentioned throughout the show just now, that when somebody's close, you don't want to feel that hurt. And I'm sure a lot of the viewers can agree with me when I say, you don't want to go back to that hurt, especially if somebody that's close to you has hurt you. So of course it's going to be tough to try to regain that trust. So God is still dealing with it.
And let me say this too, as far as trust goes, on that personal level as well, when you're close to someone too. If you're dealing with a situation where someone is trying to earn your trust back, what I'm learning is if you forgive them, you cannot keep bringing up whatever that situation is that they're doing. And that is something that's hard for me, because it's just natural for you when they do something that upsets you. That's where your mind goes, and you want to use those things to retaliate because you're angry. And that is the part where you really have to pray and ask God, okay, I've forgiven them, but then you want to ask yourself, well, have I really forgiven them? Because I'm always thinking about it, and maybe that's just being human or whatever. I mean, I have never spoken to anyone who said, yeah, I forgave them, and I just started trusting them the next day. I don't think that happens like that, but that's just our walk in our lives. That's something that we have to deal with.
I do not work in brick and mortar, so they were giving their opinion. I just was thinking of things in my past, what I could have done with the prayer life, if I would or was there when I was in brick and mortar. So with y'all opinions, I'm loving it. Everyone have their own, like I said, this is not all of the opinions out there. So we're just sharing ours. I'm gonna let you end this, Shannon.
Let's thank our audience, everyone. Look, wave at the camera, say thank you.
Thank you guys.
And we appreciate every one of you guys who have subscribed to our page and have liked our page on Facebook. I don't know about you guys, but I've had personal people come to me and told me that they watched the video and it's helping people, and that's what we're here to do. Yeah. I mean, this was Tanisha's vision, and we're glad that you want us to be a part of it. We appreciate that, and that's what we're doing. We're hoping that we can reach someone, and when they listen to our videos and look at us, they'll begin to think and begin to work out some things in their lives. And we'll be back again, and we're gonna chat about it. What you say?
Let's chat about it. You can like us on Facebook. You can subscribe to our YouTube page or Twitter page. If you're going to leave comments, please leave comments on the YouTube page or just a direct comment on the Wellkeptsisters Facebook.
Underneath the video itself.
Okay, underneath the video on YouTube, but not on the video on the Facebook page. Just make us a comment so that everybody can see them on the Wellkeptsisters page. Because we would like to respond to each and every one of the comments that we get.
And we are Wellkeptsisters, and once again, thank you for watching.
Thank you.
Bye.